Hello, I am Dr. Moushumi. In my previous videos, already have discussed about the Wildlife Protection Act of 1972, Water Prevention and Control of Pollution Act of 1974, and today I am going to talk about the Forest Conservation Act of 1980. Forest Conservation Act 1980 deals with the conservation of forests and related aspects. Except Jammu and Kashmir, the act is adopted all over India. The Act covers under it all types of forests, including reserve forest, protected forest, or any forested land, irrespective of its ownership. So now we have to discuss about what do we mean by the reserve forest and the protected forest. The term reserve forest and protected forest was first introduced in the Indian Forest Act in 1927. The main difference between these two categories of forest is that in reserve forest, the activities like grazing, hunting, etc. are generally banned unless permission is granted. But in case of protected forest, mostly all these activities are allowed unless banned specifically. The salient features of the Act are as follows. First, the state government has been empowered under this Act to use the forest only for forestry purposes. If at all it wants to use it in any other way, it has to take prior approval of central government, after which it can pass orders for declaring some part of reserve forest for non-forest purposes. That is example as for example mining, or for clearing some naturally growing trees and replacing them by economically important trees. That means the reforestation. Number two, it makes provision for conservation of all types of forest, and for this purpose, there is an advisory committee which recommends. Number three, any illegal non-forest activity within a forest area can be immediately stopped under this act. Non-forest activities include clearing of forest land for cultivation of any type of plants or crops or any other purpose. However, some construction work in the forest for wildlife forest management is exempted from non-forest activity. As for example, fencing, making water holes, trench, pipelines, checkpost, wireless communication, etc. In 1992, we have seen some amendment was made in the Act which made provisions for allowing some non-forest activities with the prior approval of central government. Then mining, removal of stones, boulder, etc. from river beds located within the forest area are fall under non-forest activity. Cultivation of tea, coffee, spices, rubber and plants which are cash crops are included under non-forestry activity and not allowed in reserve forest. Any proposal sent to central government for non-forest activity must have a cost benefit analysis and environmental impact statement, that is EIS, of the proposed activity with reference to its ecological and socio-economic impacts. What is the environmental impact statement? That means the activity, how it affects our environment in all aspects. That should be clearly mentioned in the proposal. Thus, the Forest Conservation Act has made ample provisions for conservation and protection of forests and prevent deforestation. Thank you. Please subscribe, like and comment my channel.